I really took into account about 6 years ago when I joined the John Maxwell team, and that was making a public. Yes, I'm going to come a little closer. That's because when you make that public commitment, it makes everybody know what you have going on. Hey everybody, Michael Laidler here, professional speaker, and today we're going to talk about goal setting. We're going to specifically talk about a couple of ways that goal setting actually improves your production in the long run. Before we get into this video, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification button in order for you to receive all the videos that I put out. Let's jump on in. When it comes to goal setting, it's really up to you as the employee or the person that's setting them. A lot of times we attempt to rely on our organization to help us build our goals, but if we don't have our own goals, we won't be able to achieve the things that we're meant to achieve. When we're looking at goal setting, one of the first things I like to look at, outside of some of the other methods I've talked about in prior videos, is setting difficult goals consistently. And you might say, Michael, what do you mean by difficult goals? Well, when I look at difficult goals, I look at how measurable they are to you. How tough are they to accomplish? Because what we've learned over time is as you continuously set difficult goals, you're going to continue to push yourself harder. And what does that result in? Higher performance. I was recently listening to the audiobook by David Goggins, not finished yet. And one of the things that he pushed himself to do, which I will never push myself to do this ever, is he pushed himself to do a 240-mile run. Now, it was kind of crazy because a couple of years before that, he had pushed himself to do a 100-mile run. And one of the things that he learned in his discovery was the higher the goal, the harder he pushed himself. At one point, he thought all he can do was 100-mile runs. That's all he thought he can do. But then he set that next goal of 240, and it took him to a whole new level. Now, I am not promoting going out and doing a 240-mile. Heck, I'm not even promoting going out and doing a marathon. However, when we're looking at our goals, the higher we set them and the higher we set them consistently will ultimately lead to higher performance, because a lot of times we don't hit those goals because we never set them high enough. And then once we hit them, we get in this mindset of, you know what, I'm done with this and I've accomplished this. I don't have anything else to do. Rather, if you always have that higher goal, it will over time increase the higher performance. To continue on with higher goals, when you set higher goals, you generate more effort. Once again, think about the example I just talked about with David Goggins. The fact that he was going 240 versus 100, think how much more effort he had to do to train. At one point, he was just training for 100-mile runs, i.e. 50 miles here, 75 miles there, 25 miles there. But then when he got to the point where he had to train for 240, 100 became the standard. And that extra effort became contagious in his training program. Same thing with goal setting. If you tell yourself that you want to be a millionaire and that seems very achievable, why don't you shoot to be a billionaire? I know for me, those are things I tell myself. I don't know if I will ever get there, but I'm always thinking of ways of how to elevate myself. So rather than train myself to make 100 grand a year, I'm trying to train myself to make $1 million a year to get to that $1 billion mark. Same thing, once again, with your goal settings. When you set the higher goals, you're going to just put more effort in, because what you were doing routinely before now becomes a hard push going forward. The third part about higher goal settings is have tight deadlines. One of the things that we've talked about, and if you've read my book, I talk about SMART goals. In there, there's time-bound goals. Tighter deadlines push you farther. Tighter deadlines make you move quicker. Think about anything you do right now. Usually you're like, well, when does it due? When it comes to your goals, you need to have your goals on the same plan. You need to have your goals in the same kind of reachable distance as far as time goes. If you just say, you know what, I'll get to that in 3 years. You know what? It's going to take you 3 years to get there, realistically. If you say, you know what, that 3-year goal, I want to see if I can get it in 6 months. I'm going to plan X, Y, and Z activities. You're going to find yourself going further into that goal a lot quicker because that tighter deadline will drive you to go harder. So when you're looking at your goal setting, make sure you give yourself a deadline that's tighter versus loose. I always recommend you putting an actual date on it. For example, you say by September 1st, by October 1st, by January 1st, rather than saying sometime in the first quarter, or you know what, sometime next year. Give yourself an actual date that's close, and what you're going to do is you're going to find that effort increasing more harder and a lot quicker. This next part about goal setting, I really took into account about 6 years ago when I joined the John Maxwell team, and that was making a public. Yes, I'm going to come a little closer. That's because when you make that public commitment, it makes everybody know what you have going on. It makes you more accountable, because before, if you just write it on your dry erase board, or you put it in your notepad or put it on your sticky, it's just you and that note. But when everybody knows what's going on, it's a whole other story. Public commitments are a lot better because it allows you to push yourself harder, because you have other people that are going to start asking about it. And when they do, they're going to make you feel like, you know what? I don't want Joe Smith to ask me what's going on, so let me make sure I have an answer. Public commitments elevate your goals because now you have all these other accountability partners. A goal I set for myself, and definitely I want you to hold me accountable, is I always strive to go for at least one YouTube video a week. Before I used to say, you know what, I'm just going to do a month. But when I set that goal and I start saying it out loud to others, now they say, did you do your video yet? Or you know what, we didn't see you publish a video. Now they haven't said in a couple of months, because if you haven't been able to tell, I've been posting very consistently. However, what I've learned is that by giving that public commitment and saying it out loud so other people can hear it, it now gives me multiple accountability partners. And when it comes to growth and achieving your goals, that's what's going to help push you, is that extra person outside of yourself, of course, saying to you, Michael, what's up? I thought you set this goal. Public commitments are a lot better than just having silent commitments that you write down and keep to yourself. The last part about goal setting that I'm going to talk about in this video is give yourself a written agreement. Promise yourself that you're going to do your goals. If you have someone else try to come up with an agreement with you, or if you mutually agree on a goal, you're not going to hit it like you would if you promise yourself to do it. Make sure that you give yourself a written agreement. We've already talked about tight deadlines, big goals, public commitments, but at the end of the day, you have to agree to that goal. I can't tell you what your goals are. I can coach you to help keep you accountable, but I can't set your goals for you. It's an individual task that has to be done by people, and it has to be done by that person. When you're looking at, once again, goal setting, agree with yourself. Go into your own personal contract that you tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to write this down like I'm signing an agreement with the NBA, but this is my goals that I'm signing with. Come up with some kind of agreement. If it's 1 line, 2 lines, 1 page abstract, I don't know. But agree to yourself that you're going to achieve whatever goal you believe is going to propel you to go forward. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope this video on goal setting really helped you think a little further into setting them right now versus tomorrow. Everything I talked about are things that I do on a consistent basis, because what I have found is having goals just take you to that next level. I didn't always know about goal setting throughout my life, and then when I finally realized it, I was like, boom, all these goals are starting to get accomplished because now I had a plan in place that was going to help me achieve them. Same thing is possible with you. You can set your own goals. You can help grow yourself and take yourself to that next level, but you have to have a plan in place and a strategy to get there. If you didn't get a chance, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button in order for you to be able to receive all the videos that we put out. And as we continue on different type of videos like goal setting, or maybe the alpha series that we recorded previously, it's about your growth, and allowing yourself to grow consistently is what I realize is part of the process. And without it, you will never achieve the results that you're meant to have if you don't have plans in place to get better. Thank you for watching this video. You have a great day.